It's hard to take the stage when you feel like a fraud. My message is supposed to be a simple one. Make no excuses. I'm going to tell you that there have been times in my life where I haven't always lived by that. When I started speaking, it was 2005. I remember one night in particular, after I just put down a room service meal. I'd been traveling through about 60 cities in 90 days, 3 months into a book tour. Put down the room service meal, topped it off with a milkshake. I'd put on about 30 pounds in 3 months. I finished a on-demand movie on the hotel movie channel. It was like I had watched 4 times in a row, and I tried to call my friends up to get somebody to go and talk to, because I was sitting in this room and I was all alone. No one was there to talk to me. Everyone was out having fun. I looked in the mirror and I saw the guy staring back at me barely resembled that athlete that I was supposed to be speaking about. And I felt like for the first time in my life, I had been a complete fraud. That every word that I would say and speak to this group in the morning coming out of my mouth was not something I was living myself. And have you ever felt like a fraud? You may have been in the health world representing, Agile to go and say, I don't know if I can get my own health together. Maybe you're trying to go and deliver a message of hope and prosperity and wealth to someone else and give them a chance. And it's like, I can't get this together in my own life. We go through these things and we allow this mentality to be able to become our reality. To me, it didn't start out that way. I got to go and release my book and did Oprah, Larry King, HBO Real Sports, all these programs, and my life was on fire. Book became a New York Times bestseller, was speaking around the world, and it was an amazing time. But the thing that I allowed to happen to me was to buy in to other people's belief on what I was capable of doing. Not my belief, other people. You have to decide. When I would travel in the airports, sometimes I'd pull up to the gate in the plane, and I'd see other people, when they'd look at me, the gate agents, to go and board the flight, they would think it's going to take a while to get this guy on the plane. I'd go and tell them, no, it's no problem. I'll get to my own seat. And sometimes people try to force help on me, and I get in that stubborn mentality, if somebody's going to help me, that I'll just go and do it myself. There's one time in particular where I had a guy come up to me. I was in the middle of this book tour, traveling from New York and LaGuardia Airport, flying to Toronto for another speech. This guy came up to go and help me down the jetway, to take my wheelchair and push it down the jetway to get to the plane. And he said that he had to help me. So I was like, all right, no, I'm going to go and do it on my own. But the guy kept persisting, so I figured, all right, I'm going to let him help me. You guys can't see my wheelchair. It's backstage, but it's about 3 feet off the ground. Problem was with this whole situation was the guy that wanted to help me was about 7 feet tall. Had to go and bend all the way over to go and grab the handlebars of the chair to go and push me down this jetway. So he goes and he takes about 3 steps, and he trips over a bar in the back of the chair. And I've got a 60-pound bag of clothes around my neck. And doesn't just let go of the wheelchair, trips and sends me flying down this thing. Started steaming down. There's a couple down at the bottom looking up to me this is it, Kyle's coming. And I tried to stop myself, tried to go and grab the chair and ram it into the wall. Didn't stop then, tried to go and grab hold of the side of the wall, to still flying down, to go and stop myself. There's folding patterns down metal, strips that I tried to go grab hold of, rip my arm open, so there's a streak of blood coming down now. I hit the bottom of the ramp, I flipped out, chair flipped over, everybody came running out thinking I was going to sue the airline. I popped up, guy came running down thinking he's going to lose his job. I told them, look, I'm not going to sue anybody, just promise me one thing. You will never help me again. When other people look at me, though, they might think and wonder what life would be like in my shoes. And that's something that, if they don't know me, they don't know my story, it's not my job to forcefully show them. It's my job just to change their perceptions through what I can do. Other people, when they look at you, they might doubt. They might lack belief. They might go and take their lack of belief and they might put it on you to say that if I were in your shoes, I couldn't do it. People hold perceptions of things about what certain things mean. When they see me, they might see a guy without arms and legs, and they might think that that's the worst thing that ever happened to me. To me, that's the greatest gift I've ever been given. And it truly is a choice. The things that happen to us in our lives, sometimes they're out of our control. For me, my attitude going in and speaking at that time when I was ready to go and give up and quit, that was something that was absolutely within my control. I was making excuses. I was making all these reasons up in my head as to why I couldn't do it. And I can tell you, it's not rocket science, but the depressed motivational speaker doesn't work very well. Not a dynamic I recommend. But it was something that I could not control the way that I was born. I was born without my arms and legs. And my parents, when I was growing up, they treated me as completely normal. They did not focus on the things that were wrong. They focused on all the things that were good and right in my life. All the things that I could do. Wouldn't allow me to go and give in and quit on little things. I see this now so much in parents that tell their kids that they're spoiled. Or they tell their kid, this one's a party animal, or this one's bad at math. Well, we confirm that in our youth, in each other, by focusing on these things. That power of our focus is so critical and it's so important to be able to go and change and start focusing on things that we can control, that we can change. You have been hit with challenges this year. Major challenges. You've been hit with change in leadership. After a conversation that I had this morning with Jeff Higginson, I know some of the adversity that you've faced and what he's going to go and share later on. I'll tell you that it's many of you, the expectation and the goals that he's going to share with you, you're going to sit there and think, this is completely impossible. And you know what? You might think, this is totally crazy. Having that worthwhile goal, what he's going to go and issue and challenge to you, you have to decide how you're going to go and take it and respond and react to it. To go and believe that what you want out of that is possible. What you want out of your business, your life, and so many things, it's your choice. In that moment, I looked around and I thought, I am living my dream. I'm experiencing everything that I had visualized over and over and over again, and I had made my reality. And the feeling that came over me was one of total sympathy and compassion. I thought, what's a disability? Does a disability have anything to do with not having arms and legs? Or is a disability truly one that we carry on the inside? One that keeps us I believe that, we all have a disability. Every one of us. But if our disability is keeping us from following our dreams and our passions, and we find it easier to tell someone else what they can't do, that's a big disability. And I realized I want to do something in my life that is, I don't want to, I'll phrase it like this. I don't want to find it easier to criticize someone else when I can do something worthy of criticism. Something that's worth other people telling me that my dream is completely impossible. Because it's totally impossible for a guy to go and step into a cage and fight in mixed martial arts. Just like it's totally impossible for Agile to be one of the biggest companies in the world. Or for you to have a multi-million-dollar business. You find your belief by finding your why. You find your truth, and you realize that there are no excuses. Thank you guys very much for having me.